Okay, thank you and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the CalKIDS workshop and how to, we'll learn about CalKIDS and the scholarship that it provides for families and for the students in Twin Rivers. So we'll go ahead and get started. So CalKIDS, to introduce it, it's from the state of California. You may be already familiar with it. Maybe you received a letter in the mail letting you know that your student is eligible. And this program is real, so you could trust it. It's coming from the state of California as an automatic scholarship. 1 second. Okay. And this scholarship that CalKIDS provides is up to $1,500 for college, trade school, or career program. So the money that's available to use can be for more than just college. So technical schools or trades, they can also use this money for those type of programs. There are two groups that are eligible. They're separate. One is newborns in California, and the other group is low to moderate income public school students in California are eligible as well. So with this program, it makes it really great for students in public schools to have a scholarship. Okay, so what do we know about college savings? So there's studies out there that show that children with a college savings account are 3 times more likely to attend college. So this is good for students. It shows that when they have money set aside specifically for college, they succeed. And also, children with a college savings account are 4 times more likely to graduate from college as well. So with these studies, it shows that when you have something set aside, the students are more likely to graduate and pursue higher education, and overall their future is more successful. So again, who is eligible for CalKIDS? So they are awarded to 2 separate groups. One group is all California newborns that have been born on or after July 1st of 2022. And the other group is all low to moderate income students in public schools in California. So those are the 2 groups that are eligible. And some of your students in Twin Rivers Unified School District, many students are eligible to receive this CalKIDS scholarship. So we'll give you all the information so you can be prepared to claim this scholarship for your students. So let's talk more about the Student Scholarship Award first. So the eligibility for low to moderate income students, you could see there on the screen. So usually if a student qualifies for free and reduced lunch, they will be eligible to receive a CalKIDS scholarship. And many of you have to submit forms or maybe don't have to submit forms for free lunch, but we encourage families to submit their forms so they could be receiving these programs because this makes them eligible for CalKIDS. Students that are also English learners, that's a factor that can be considered for eligibility. And students that are homeless and foster youth students, they may also be eligible for CalKIDS and received extra funding. So they may receive extra scholarship money. So this slide mentions a few of the factors that make someone eligible for CalKIDS. Now, this information is provided by the California Department of Education. When we receive this information about students, that's how we're able to create these scholarships for students. Oops, let me go back. So this is a little bit more information about the eligibility and how we determine who is eligible and who gets the scholarship. So CalKIDS, the first year that it awarded students was from the academic year 21-22. So that school year, if you had a student that was a 1st to 12th grader in that school year and they received those benefits like in the previous slide, then they were most likely eligible for CalKIDS. Even if they already graduated, they still have their scholarship active and they could still claim it, and we'll show you how shortly. But just starting that year, that's when we awarded a scholarship through CalKIDS that first year. Now, every year after that, we are only awarding eligible first graders. So from the academic year 22-23 and on, only first graders receive a new scholarship. Now, CalKIDS is only a one-time scholarship. There's no application. It's automatic. So if a student is eligible to receive like the free and reduced lunch, they're automatically eligible to receive a CalKIDS scholarship. So you don't have to worry about applying. There's no essays, nothing like that. It's not based on grades. It's just automatic. If a student is eligible, they get the scholarship. So many of your students may be eligible. Many of you may have students in elementary school. They may be eligible. And some of you may have students that already graduated. And that's okay. Their scholarship is still active. And we'll show you when and how long they have until they could use it. So the CalKIDS Awards for the low to moderate income students is as follows. So students get an initial deposit of $500. So all that are eligible get $500. If they are also identified as foster youth, they get an additional $500. And if they are also identified as unhoused or homeless, they get an additional $500. So some students, depending on their situation, they get between $500 and $1,500. So depending, every student may be different. Now, the CalKIDS scholarship is placed into a scholarship account. In this account grows a little bit with interest. So as the years go by, there's growth. And as you may see, if you have already claimed your scholarship, you may see that your child has $540. Some may have $600. That's because of the interest it generates over the years. And this interest is automatically, even if you haven't claimed your scholarship CalKIDS account, it's already gaining interest. So it's working for the student already. But it's important to claim the scholarship as soon as possible, even if your student is still in elementary school, even if you don't know where your student will go to university or college, we want you to claim your scholarship now so you can be prepared and your student can see that they have a scholarship, and this motivates them to graduate and go to college. So we want you to claim the scholarship right away, as soon as possible. Now let's talk about the scholarship for newborns. So we talked about the student award, and that was the information I shared with you previously. But now many of you parents may have younger children, or you have relatives that have newborns. So please share this information with them, or some of you may be staff listening in. You may have young kids, so this information is still relevant and can be useful. So the eligibility for newborns is if they have been born in California on or after July 1st of 2022, regardless of when, if any income of the family. So if you're low income or high income, it's okay. So whatever income the family makes, if they're born in California on or after July 1st of 2022, they automatically get a scholarship. No applications, it's just automatic. So they do have to wait about 3 months until we get the information from the Department of Public Health. But after that, it's automatic, and you may receive a letter in the mail letting you know that your baby has a scholarship. So it's as easy as that. Now, for some of you, maybe you had a newborn, and when they enter first grade, they may also be eligible for the scholarship for low to moderate income students. So they may potentially qualify when they enter first grade for more money, but that will be in the future. Now, the CalKIDS Awards for newborns. So the state, they give up to $175 for newborns. It's a smaller amount than the students get, but this amount also grows with interest, and it generates interest over the years. So when it starts at $175 at birth, by the time they're 17 or 18 years old, that money would have grown a lot. So they may have a lot more in the future, but this is just the start. Now, there's also some incentives that equal up to $175. But if you claim the scholarship, you get $25. That's going to happen either way. If you also link a new or existing scholarship 529 account, you get an additional $50. So this is optional. You don't have to have a scholarship 529 account, but we recommend you to save because college is expensive. And I see a hand for questions, but if you can save your question until the end, we will answer questions at the end of the presentation, or you could put them in the chat and we can answer them in the chat as well. So going back to the presentation. So for scholarship 529, we'll talk about it briefly towards the end, but this is optional if you want to continue saving. Because with the CalKIDS account, parents, they cannot, so no, you can't put money, your own money, into CalKIDS. It's just a scholarship. You cannot contribute. So CalKIDS is separate. But if you do want to save more money, you can open up a scholarship 529 account. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, when your child, your student is ready to use their funds, we're going to teach you how they can do that. So pay attention. This is really important. So when you're ready to distribute the account and use the funds, these are the steps you will take. So CalKIDS covers these expenses. So tuition and fees, books and supplies, computer equipment, these things you can use the money CalKIDS for. And this money can be used as a scholarship. So it will not affect financial aid. So if students need financial aid, this won't be affected. So CalKIDS won't affect their financial aid. So they'll be safe. But they can use the money for books and computers. So that's nice. When a student is requesting to use CalKIDS money, a check will be sent to the university, college, or trade school directly to the school. We don't give the money directly to the student. It has to go directly to the school. And then the school, the financial aid office, they will give the money to the student. So that's the way it works. So when you're ready to use the funds, a student, it will get sent to the school they will be enrolled in, and the school will give the money to the students. Now, you don't have to know what school your child is going to go in the future yet. It's okay. But when you're ready to do that, you will take the steps to submit that information. Now, to request a distribution, a student has to be at least 17 years old. So as soon as they're 17, they could start to use CalKIDS money. And they have their funds available until the age of 26. So that gives them a lot of time to use the funds. So like many of you may have students that graduated maybe last year or 2 years ago that's okay. They have until the age of 26 to use their funds, but we want them to claim it right away. So some of them may not pursue college. Maybe they took a break. That's okay if they go back to school, maybe when they're 23 or 24. That's okay because they have until the age of 26. But either way, try to claim their accounts so that they can be prepared for when they're going to go back to college. Or if they're already graduated and they're attending college, they can use it now. The schools they could use it at have to participate with FAFSA. So those are the schools that receive checks for scholarships. You do have to be enrolled in an institution in order to receive your CalKIDS money. Because like I mentioned earlier, a check will be sent directly to the school. And then they have to make sure they're enrolled. And when they verify, then they give the money to the student. So to make a request, you do have to log into your CalKIDS online portal at calkids.org. So it's really easy. When you go to calkids.org, there's a login button. You press it and you could log in. Now for first timers, if you haven't done this, you want to claim your account first at calkids.org, and we'll show you how to do that soon. But when you log into CalKIDS, or when you claim your CalKIDS account, you're going to create a username and password so that you can log in to your CalKIDS account. So that's why it's important for you to claim it as soon as possible so you can have those things ready. Like I mentioned earlier, to distribute the funds, it gets sent directly to the institution, the school they will attend for their career. And it is treated as a scholarship, so it won't affect financial aid. And they can use all of the money right away, or they could use the money maybe just in parts. So maybe they'll use $200 now and save the rest for later. It's up to them. So they don't have to use it all right away. They could save it. So now we're going to talk a little bit about how to confirm if students are eligible, and we'll show you how to claim your CalKIDS scholarship. So there's a few steps to determine eligibility. One way is if you received a letter through the mail that looks like the one on the left, then you're automatically eligible. That means you're eligible. So if you have that letter, you can follow the steps to claim your scholarship. There's a unique code on there that helps you claim your account. If you don't have this letter, maybe it got lost or you never received it, it's okay. You can still check eligibility by going to our website, calkids.org. And it looks like something like on the right here. So that's the website. And there will be a blue box on the website that says, are you eligible? That way you can confirm if you're eligible. So you press that button, confirm eligibility. You get another window that comes up and it'll ask you, are you a student, newborn? For all of you now, maybe you're the parents of students, so you'll want to confirm if you'll put student, and then it'll ask you for the SSID, their state student ID. And in the next slide, we'll show you how to get that for Twin Rivers students, but you will need to have the SSID. So just keep that in mind in order to claim the account, the scholarship. And the SSID is different than the school ID because, they might need the school ID to get lunch, things like that. But the state student ID, that's the number that you will need to claim the CalKIDS account. So we'll show you in the next slide or two how you can access the SSID. So this is what's needed to claim a CalKIDS scholarship. So we'll talk first about the students in the middle. So the students, you will need three things. One is the statewide student identifier or SSID. Or if you have the letter, you might have the unique code. That's okay. So either of those two. You'll also need their student's date of birth, and you'll also need the name of the county where your student was enrolled. So depending on where they were in school. So if they were a first to 12th grader in 21, 22, you need to know the county when they were in there. Or if they're first grader 22, 23, and on, you'll need to know what county they were in first grade. So if you always lived in Sacramento County, then that's okay. But if you moved from a different county in California, just keep that in mind. But those are the three things that you will need to claim a scholarship, CalKIDS scholarship. Now, for all of you that may want to get information about newborns, the newborns will also need three things. First is the local registration number that's found on the birth certificate or the unique code that you got in the mail through this letter. You'll also need the date of birth and the name of the county where the child was born in California. So just three things are needed to claim a scholarship. We do not need you to enter your social security number, no ITINs. We don't need that. So don't worry about it. Only these three things are needed to claim a CalKIDS scholarship. All right, Heriberto, would you like to talk about ARIES and for families, how they can access their
Uh,
SSID?
yes, let me turn on my camera and me really quickly pin myself. Yeah. So okay, figure this out really quickly. Sorry about that. Okay. So for our families, in Twin Rivers, as Dana has mentioned, right, each student has two different numbers. In this case, our Aries, SIS number, which is in the 9800 digit, 9-digit number, and then they have what's called a state student identifier number, right, which is what once they come to school in California, and that number goes with them wherever they go until they finish high school. And so in this case, many of you are asking, how do I access the information for my student, my child? How do I qualify? Some of you probably heard from Dana that you got the letters sent to you saying that your son or daughter qualify, your foster youth, somebody that you know has qualified. Um, and so in this case, for many of our parents, right, the way that you could find out to access that information is three different parts. One is Aries Parent Portal. Two is the QR codes for our schools, and then three are community liaisons. So those are the three ways as far as accessing the information that you can from your side within Parent Portal. So, for example, if you go to the next slide, um, Dana, so students, these are the ways that you can find their information, their SSID numbers. One is on every student portal. So students on their portal side, if they're in a Chromebook, when you log into the school's website, there's a login where they can log in either as a student or as a parent. Students are able to view their SSID number on every student portal. If I'm the parent or guardian of that student on my parent portal, it will show up as non-applicable. I'm not able to see that number. As I mentioned, right, that SSID number, the state student ID number, is a 10-digit number that, in this case, it's not viewable as a parent or caregiver. So the way that you can access that information would be within the transcripts for your high school students. That shows the unofficial or official transcripts, the state test scores with every student portal, right? The LPAC test, the state test. Those are the ways you could access that information as well. Any report that indicates that ties into the state reporting from the state of California, you'll be able to see their SSID number. And also too, you could contact the front office, the school office, our teachers, our staff, to be able to help. And then we also have our community liaisons that work at the schools, are another way of helping out. We recently had a meeting with our counselors where they learned how to help and support with claiming and accessing the SSID numbers, right? And how to help families guide along the process as well. So those are the steps as far as how students and parents can access the information. Um, And the screenshot that is there where it says every student, it's every student portal account. And in this case, it has a little signature, has an indication of how they can access that information when they log in. So those are the steps to log in, and I'll share this information in the chat as well. And I know there's probably a lot of questions regarding that information, and I definitely will share it via the chat as well. So have I'm gonna pass it back to Dana, and then I will thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. So now you know how to access the SSID for your student. So you will need this number to claim the CalKIDS scholarship. So if you are available to do it today, it only takes 5 minutes to claim a CalKIDS scholarship. It's really simple, really easy. So I encourage you to do it as soon as possible. Mm. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Scholarship 529 briefly. So this is optional if you want to continue saving on your own. It's not required to do this, but it's an option that when you claim your CalKIDS scholarship, you will see on the profile, it says open or link as Scholarship 529. So it will come up on your profile if you want to do that. So if you do, this is what it's about. So what is a 529 plan? So a 529 is an account that allows you to invest specifically for future higher education expenses. So you yourself, the parent, contribute. So you will save your own money and it will go to the Scholarshare 529 account. This is separate from CalKIDS, is totally separate. So just so you know, because with CalKIDS, you cannot put money there. But if you do want to save more, this is how you can with the Scholarshare 529. So this money that you save grows tax-free. So that just means you're not paying taxes on it. So that's the perk that you will have more money for college in the future because you don't have to pay taxes on the earnings. When you use the funds, if you use them for qualified higher education expenses, you won't have to pay taxes. It's 100% tax-free as well. So that's a good thing because college is expensive, so the more money, the better. And the 529 funds that you save over the time, they could be used for eligible schools around the country and even around the world. And they include fees, books, supplies, um, things that are required for classes. So the 529 plan, you save your own money, and these are what you could use the things for. So to open a 529 plan, you do have to be a U.S. citizen or resident, at least 18 years or older, with a valid social security number or tax ID number. So this is again separate than CalKIDS, but if you do want to open a 529, these are the requirements. And to open an account is only $1 or $0, so it's not a big commitment. So, and you could save as little or as much as you want. So it's not a big commitment. The important thing is that you're saving money. So that's the good thing. So now Scholarship 529 specifically is California's official college savings plan because 529s, they are available throughout the country. Each state may have their own 529. So Scholarship 529 is officially California's 529. And we've been around for over 20 years, helping families save for college. And we have $13 billion in assets, which means that a lot of families are saving their money with us. And we're one of the largest 529 plans in the country. And Scholarship 529 is overseen by the state treasurer's office. So they're the ones at the state that are making sure that families and their money is safe. So just for your knowledge, if you're interested in opening up a Scholarship 529, it's optional, but it can help you and your students because maybe financial aid doesn't cover everything or scholarships, CalKIDS is there, but you may need extra money, and that's where the savings come in. So if you save money, you can have extra set aside for any extra costs. So just for your knowledge if you're interested. So the savings, this is how it would look like. This is an example. But if you save over the years, your money, it grows. So earnings, you get earnings, and those earnings grow tax-free. So that's the good thing about it. So this is just an example, someone that saved when their baby was born until 18 years. That's how much money they could potentially have. But every family is different, and you can start at any age. So if you currently have a high schooler, you can start saving. It's okay because anything helps. If you have a student in elementary school, that's good. You have more time to save. But the important thing is that you save at any age. So you can start at any age. And you can even save for yourself. If you're interested in going back, finishing a degree, or getting a new degree, you can save for yourself as well. But mostly people use it for their kids, but you can save for yourself as well. So that's how the program would work. It is an investment, and you would save your own money. Over the years, you would get earnings. So it's really nice that you can use this program, and it's available at scholarship529.com. If you'd like more information, we'll drop these links in the chat as well. So just an extra slide here, it shows how the investment can grow over time, because maybe you're saving in the bank account and it doesn't really do anything. It just sits there, $1. But other investments, they grow a little interest, but they're taxed. But with the scholarship 529 in the blue, it shows the growth. It could be higher without taxes. So that's the good thing about it. So if you're interested, you can visit scholarshare529.com if you want to learn more or open an account. So you could definitely do that at any time. Okay, so here is the CalKIDS website. So you go to calkids.org. So as you can see, this is the main page. If you want to go ahead and claim your account because you already know you're eligible, you go to claim scholarship account right there. If you already have an account, you could log in and see your balance, different things. If you don't know if you're eligible, you can just scroll till you see this blue box. Not sure if you're eligible, you can click confirm eligibility. And then let's say you're wanting to know for your student, so you go student, and then you'll enter their SSID, so it's good to have it handy. And then you'll enter it there, and then you click next, and then it'll say congrats, you're eligible, or unfortunately you're not eligible. So it'll be either of the two, but that's how to figure out if you're eligible first. But if you already know if you're eligible, you can just go to the claim the scholarship account. It'll take you to another page, and let's wait until it loads real quick. Taking a while, but in the meantime, so going back to the main website, you can also change the language right here to other. We have a few languages, so you can definitely see the information in your language. So when you claim the account, it takes you to this next page, and this is where you will need to enter those identifiers. So the county where they were enrolled in school, their birth date, and then that unique code or the student SSID, or for the newborn, it depends. But most likely all you are trying to do it for your student, so the student SSID. Then you click claim, and it'll take you to the next step where you'll need to create a username and password so that later you could log in, and when you log in, you can come back, click login, and it'll show your balance. It'll show how much money the student has. And at that point, when their student is at least 17, you could start to use the money. So you'll have to log in to request the distribution in the future. So that's an overview of how it looks like to use the website. It's really easy, and it takes like less than 5 minutes to claim it and to create your profile. So I hope this is helpful for all of you.